What's good, superstars? Back with another VV video. You got Superstar Joe. You got Superstar Rob in the building. How's it going, Rob?
Pretty good. You?
What if this hand was a big boxing glove? You would have no chance.
And it got bigger as you punched.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea. If you haven't already, don't forget, become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell notification. Don't punch a screen, but just hit the bell notification so you know whenever we post about VV. Whenever we post some what if, maybe this is going to become a series. What if on VV?
What
you can
if
also become a VIP member? So what's that?
I said, what if?
Yeah. What if you can become a superstar VIP, $2.99 a month? Hit the join button down below. Get one of those stars next to your name. Level up through the ranks. Get extra entries into our giveaways. Follow us on X. Follow us on Instagram. Jump in the DMs. Let us know what you're thinking. Got any ideas? But also in the Discord, go there, chat with everybody and anybody who's a superstar. All the superstars are there having a great time in all the projects that we love. VV chat is always popping over there. Definitely make your way over. You're going to find some people who are critical. You're going to find some people who are moon boyish, and they all get along. There's zero toxicity in there. So, I mean, it's a very good, cool environment, and it's just a chill time. Everybody has great ideas, and everybody supports everybody there and give great ideas all the time.
Imagine you're watching this. What if you join the Discord? I'll tell you what would happen. You'd have access now to the rest of Superstar Nation. You'd be able to actually have some of the brightest minds in the space interact with you 24/7 because there's always somebody awake. And on top of that, you're going to have a chance to join all of our giveaways. We make so many giveaways on this channel, and we run them all through our Discord. If you use our links, you have to let us know in the Discord for us to give you stars at the end of the month because it's impossible to track otherwise. So make sure you join.
What are the whales thinking? We got whales in the Discord. Go talk to them. You can talk to them directly. They're sharing some of their buys. It is crazy sometimes to see what some of these people, I mean, how much crazy items that they're able to buy and purchase, and they give you their reasonings and all that stuff. So, I mean, what if you were in the Discord? Maybe you would have a different perspective on things.
That's right.
I want to share a little bit of the news. Not too much happening today, so it should be pretty quick, but Pinnacle, they're doing another limited edition drop. This one, Stormtrooper, Rule the Galaxy, limited to 450 and available until May 20th. This is the second pin in the set. They did one with Darth Vader earlier on. So again, Rob and I kind of staying away right now from the limited edition pins. A little expensive for our liking, but the quality on these ones, I think this is notch above any of the previous limited editions from what we've seen.
Yeah, I think that people obviously they love Star Wars too, right? So, and anything that you slap the Star Wars tag on it, it's going to be something that people are going to buy. I think recently they've been selling maybe 200 to 300 pins per drop. I think something in that range. I don't know about the limited editions though, but Diamond has you covered. If you want to know that kind of data, make sure you guys check out Diamond.
Yeah, of course. This is tweeted by Diamond, so definitely go check out his Flipside Crypto dashboard where he's got all the deep dive details, numbers, all that stuff. He's able to read the full blockchain like nobody else in the space. So must follow on Twitter. Cryptoice put out another comic strip. Dr. Fudd is losing his mind. I don't know what's going on here. Is he ever going to allow the Cryptoice to just live in peace? I don't know if we're ever going to find out that answer, but to be continued.
Well, I love Dr. Fudd. He came in, he started vaulting characters, started burning characters. Like, this is what I want to see. Commons are just burned out of existence thanks to Dr. Fudd. So I think Dr. Fudd is going to be whatever he has in store for us. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Even Paleo and Pippin were telling him to calm down on this one. So, I mean, he's above that. He's just like, nah, look at him. Look at him right there. Definitely go check that out with sound. Shout out to Wayne. He was a winner of the Superstar Utility Program last month, and he got his Starboy, just sharing that here. I love that one. He's on the moon. He's got his money. He's got his nice chain there. So thank you for always supporting us, and congrats on the big giveaway win.
Yep, and that Starboy's looking great in your collection, by the way. It looks amazing over there on that left side.
Yep. Also, guys, again, if you didn't know and you're just finding out, partnered with the Gold Dragon Club, they are giving away a 7-night stay to Disney's Old Key West, August 9th to August 16th. All you have to do is either own a Starboy. So, Wayne, all you got to do is opt in now on the Discord. You got to opt in. Own a Starboy, own a Gold Dragon. If you own a Starboy, opt in with us on our Discord. If you own a Gold Dragon, opt in with Mike Cat 4 on Twitter. And then if you own both, you're going to get 40 entries into this thing. And then you can burn OMI. That's another way to enter. Burn 1,500 OMI. If you're going to do that option, reach out to one of us. We'll tell you exactly how to do it so you don't mess up. And that will get you one entry. And then multiples of that will get you multiples entries depending on how much you do. But, I mean, a crazy, crazy utility coming from the Gold Dragon Club.
Yeah, I was chatting with a superstar today, actually. I had to remind them, hey, by the way, there's this giveaway. You have a superstar. It's free to enter. just hop over into our Discord, let us know, and you have a chance to win this cool prize. So definitely,
cool.
Wayne, check it out.
All right. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the news. What if, all right? What if we're going to try and do some things like this? Like, what if things went a little bit differently, maybe in the past or in the future? What if they do things this way on Veve? What will that mean for the platform, for the app? How do we see this moving forward? We always love to give suggestions. So, I mean, we're going to leave this off with some suggestion on how things could be a little bit different. But obviously, big news next week. We got the Blackpink drops coming out. Pretty much Blackpink week next week. All 4 characters, variants of the characters, chase items, crafting, but very, very pretty penny for that drop.
Yeah, and as I will be honest, guys, I did not even know about Blackpink before the Veve drop, but I obviously understand that they're a pretty big deal. And there was a lot of marketing on Veve side. Veve was really pushing it in terms of getting the word out. I'm getting ads like crazy on my phone because they must see that I follow Veve and everything, right? I'm getting fed a lot of ads. I haven't been really seeing ads before. Every once in a while I would see one, but not that often. So I see that Veve's putting in the effort to get the marketing out. They even brought the Blackpink girls themselves to do a video saying that their drop is coming on Veve to help market it. So we're getting now a bunch of their fans looking into this saying, okay, well, what is this? And we're analyzing that information, just trying to see what we can do with that. But what if, we know the Blackpink drop, for example, has fairly high mints, if you want to call it that, 2,000, right? 2,000 mints for the first 4. But then there's a whole crafting component to it. If you have all 4 of them, then you're going to get the card. And then if you could spend 20 gems, you could burn that card, and then you can get a pretty cool secret rare item, which is the ultimate chase item. So they put some jet fuel with that utility. We know that utility does pretty well on Veve, but what if they did things a little bit differently? Like, how exactly do we see this going? Because I feel that the way this drop is set up, it may not necessarily be the best for new user onboarding. And I think it's going to be dominated by the current speculators that are here on Veve who think this is going to be a really big deal. And they're going to be the ones trying to complete these sets in order to go for the secret rares. But Joel, I'll let you jump in there.
Yeah, I mean, what if it was marketed in a way that would onboard new users? What if it was marketed a little bit differently? I feel like you're right. I feel like you said it. You said it right there. You got the ads because you follow Veve. There are probably people following Blackpink who are getting these ads. And I want to show to what effect that Veve has been they've been promoting this, because you mentioned it, and they have been promoting. They've been pushing it. The marketing team has been working to get advertisements out on Twitter, on Snapchat. I saw there was some advertisements on Instagram. There is no shortness of advertisements. We've seen the actual girls, even though they filmed the video 2 years ago of them speaking about Veve and talking about the drop. Because obviously that was, people figured out that was during another time when they were filming for something else. But at the same time, they got the girls to film it. The girls are putting it on their current story. I mean, one of them put the Veve drop on their current story. So how is this translating? That's the first thing I want to bring up here that we've noticed. This is the ad. I guess this is the first ad I think that went out. We retweeted it and all that stuff too. But 2.5 million views, impressions. That's this number on the bottom middle there, right? So 2.5 million impressions. 265. So like already there, the retweeting and the like ratio to the views, kind of a weird, a weird little ratio. Yeah, I would have thought with that much impressions, if it was really something that people were really into, you might have had a better of a, I don't know what you call it, interaction or score like that. But
I think that's a fair point, Joel. Yeah, like 2.5 million, you would expect more than 2K, right? 2K likes, you expect more than just 56 comments. So that's a good point. It's suspect right there.
Yeah. So why? I mean, where is this getting advertised to? Because the other place I thought to look is, this is on Twitter. So this is a Twitter example. So let's check out Social Blade for Twitter on Veve. And is this bringing people in? Like when Disney tweeted about Veve, this was during NFT hype. So you knew that people in general were into NFTs and looking for options on NFTs. So us included. Disney tweets it, that verifies our thinking process. Now we're like, okay, let me go jump over there, because we already wanted something to do with NFTs, but we didn't have any options. Then Disney says, listen, there's this app that's doing NFTs with Disney IP. Now you got two worlds colliding, right? But when you're advertising to a segment of the world or a segment of fandom that isn't looking for NFTs and isn't looking for this, I think it translates a little bit differently. And what you're going to see here is this is Veve's Twitter followers since this drop has been announced. Like it probably announced like sometime last week. And again, you had a big spike on Monday, 132 new followers, 74, 42. But this is not groundbreaking followers. This is not people rushing to learn about Veve. I mean, if you're getting an ad on Twitter about Veve, you're likely going to go to Veve's Twitter, follow if it's something that you're into, that you want to learn about. So to me, we're not seeing the translation to the actual new users, the actual Blackpink fandoms. And I would think that these drops are going to be mostly people who are already here purchasing in hopes of future user base growth and all that stuff. But at the same time, I think the people who are here, even if you did have people coming into the app in more waves than this, if you were having thousands of users added, or at least this doesn't even mean that they have to be adding the Veve app. This is just them following Veve on Twitter to learn more. Like that's, I think, would be the first step. So to me, the people actually adding the app is going to be less than these numbers that you see here. But regardless, I think that this is going to be a huge advantage for people who are already here, because you know how to use the app. There's a speed to the craft that people might not be familiar with. Like people who've been here, they already know how to craft. And I just think that kind of puts a bad taste in new people's mouths when they get into something new and they want to do it. And they might be like experiencing this for the first time. They might come over and be like, oh, this is cool. And if you did convince somebody to start to become an NFT fan or an NFT lover or a digital collectible fan, and then they're not able to participate, well, there goes that lead. And you just confirmed everything they thought initially, right? That NFTs are a scam. Oh, it's too hard to get into. Forget it. I'm out.
Well, Joe, we have the data for that, right? We were able to actually go and actually check to see what the new wallets were. It looks like that this is back in May 4th. So May 4th, there was 50 new active wallets, which is a huge spike comparison to the rest of the time. And we got 38 here. So, you had a decent amount of time. And when was that jump? Does it have a day of when they had the 150 users?
May 13th.
May 13th. Okay, well, that's a little bit closer. But really, based on the data, like about 15 new wallets, 4 new wallets, you see there's not really that much new users coming in. So we know that despite the 2.5 million impressions, who knows, maybe they were botted. I don't know. Maybe it was purchased, paid for, or maybe that was legitimate, but it didn't bring in new users, which is why now we're going to ask the question, what if they took a different approach with this drop? So we're going to just propose some ideas. And we'll see when the drop time comes if there's a spike on that exact day the drop happens.
Yeah.
But
this here counts for people who've bought a collectible, I believe. So if they're only interested in Blackpink, we might not see those numbers until after the drop.
Exactly.
And that'll be a telling number, right? Did all this money spent on advertising bring in any new users? So obviously we know after the drop is when you're going to see that tick up. And until then, it's all speculation based off of the data that we're able to collect from other ways. Like we're looking at how many Twitter followers are coming. You can do the same thing for Instagram. There's all these resources out there. You can start to track the way that people are starting to follow the project, which I think is really telling. So I mean, you got anything else? Because I got stuff after.
That was a really important point that I'm glad you mentioned, because which is what I was just about to say, which is we will not really truly know the answer about the new users until the day of the drop. Only on the day of the drop will we finally have a better understanding if new users came in. If we come in here and we see that this spikes and we see like 1,000, then that would validate that new users did in fact come to purchase these collectibles. So I don't know if you want to get into it now in terms of our suggestions. You said you have some more thoughts you want to put on the table here.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, like, hey, we know that other video that they released of the band talking about Veve was 2 years ago during another promotion that they were doing, right? So you've had 2 years here to look at and research and look into what Blackpink fans want. I feel like if you're going to try and onboard a segment of society, any type of segment, any type of fandom, any type of community, it's important to understand what that fandom wants. Like I said earlier, when Disney came on board, a big portion of the world was interested in NFTs. They were seeing it all over the news. They were seeing it everywhere. So 2 and 2 came together. People wanted Disney NFTs. They didn't exist. Disney tweets it. Now they exist, and that brings in the flood of people. Now, not necessarily you're going to see Blackpink people knocking down the door asking for NFTs, because it's kind of been a fad that's been gone for a while, and it needs something to bring it back. And I think the best way to go on about this, what if in those 2 years, Veve went into group chats and all of these other places with Blackpink fans and found out exactly what they wanted, what were their favorite things, what made them tick. Do they like merch? Do they like tickets? Do they like exclusive songs? Like, what are things that they like? And then as you work that license, you try to incorporate as many of those things as you can. Do they like stationary collectibles? Do they like animated collectibles? Like, what do they want to see? How do they like? Do they like 4K quality? Do they like PS2 graphics? What do they like when it comes to a drop? I feel like those are the questions that people should have been asking and trying to dig, because that is what ties the spaces together. If you're not giving them what they want and you're just giving them what you want and then pushing it onto them and saying, oh, look what we got here. Look what we got here. Look what we got here 2.5 million times. You're not going to get anywhere if it's not something that they want. And we see that in the data, right?
I think there needs to be a transitionary period for a lot of people who are coming from outside the NFT space. So the first thing that I think would be like, this would be a decent digital drop, because we're like the people that are expected to be the new users. I'm sure many of them have either no interest or negative thoughts against the NFTs in general. So maybe give them something that they would be familiar with. We know they're we know that most people that go to concerts are crazy about merch. Okay. The merch stores are always popping. People love buying the merch, the t-shirts, and all these things. If they were able to do a digital with, I think, an exclusive Blackpink merch, any item, that could be enough to bring in a decent amount of new users to go for that drop from outside the space. I'm not sure how convinced new users are going to be with a digital collectible as it is. They buy it. It's pretty cool that they could put it in AR, but I don't know if they're going to see the value in that like they would, for example, a digital merch. They probably see more value in that because they come from a more practical, physical environment. And these are things that they're familiar with. There's also the option with music. People talked about music being kind of a stretch, but it's still on the table. Would you be able to have Blackpink give any kind of, either discount on their records that they drop, or, discounts on their music in some way, or even an early, if you buy this, you're going to get an early listen to their next song. Could you have a song embedded in the collectible so that at least when people project in AR, it has music as well? I think there was a whole music aspect to this. I mean, they call it Veve Vibes, but there's a whole music aspect to this where I'm not really sure how that's going to fit into all of it. Is it Veve Vibes just because they're singers? But in the end, is it just a collectible that offers no twist on music itself, which makes it the difference between being a Veve collectible versus a Veve Vibes, right? So all I'm saying is that there are certain angles of utility. What if these angles were actually delivered and explored and provided? Would this be a better way to bring in new users? And maybe we're premature because we haven't seen the data from the day of the drop, but based on the social blade and based on the impressions and the comments, we're thinking that it's still going to be a dominated drop by the current existing users.
Yeah, maybe they're dipping their toe, though. Maybe there's more Blackpink down the line. Maybe we're going to see some of these things that we're hoping to see with the music, with the merch. Maybe they'll take some of these ideas and maybe they'll actually get them rolled out. And what if that actually happens? I think it will be great for Veve. I think it will be great for the entire platform. I mean, we talk about bridging the physical. If you look, Funko and Drop have been successful. They've had successful drops. They've been around for over a year now. And they've been doing it, and they've been making Funko users use their NFT platform to get exclusive Funko drops. And they're doing it. Why? Because they love physicals, and the only way to get them is through the digital. And some might say, oh, you're forcing them to do it. But at the same time, without them knowing it, they're being educated on what it means to own a token, to convert that token into something, and then this is how the space moves. This is how the space grows. If you just keep trying to go for the sell, and you don't provide anything further than that besides a ticket to buy more, then you're going to have a problem. But the fact that we got some companies out there starting to do it, I think Veve, they're going to start to do it as well eventually, as they see the rest of the space grow and deliver this, because this is the way it's going to go. You want to bring in these fandoms, you got to do the research, you got to see what they want, and you got to incorporate that. And sometimes it's going to be harder to incorporate things. I get it. There's going to be IP that don't want to do that. But I mean, at some point, there's going to be a transition in the space where it's going to matter. And we've been saying utility for how long, Rob? It's going to matter, and it's going to be crystal clear what brings people into the space and what doesn't.
Yeah, I think even on Veve side, in terms of the utility, they could up the utility. For example, they have the flying DeLorean, right? Where you can actually, control and move that DeLorean. And I know there's animated things on the app, which are great. But, maybe they should start looking at, going forward, all collectibles are going to be movable, walkable within the app.
Rigged,
this would be, this may be a topic for another video, but maybe if the Blackpink was fully rigged, you can walk with them.
That'd be sick.
And you go, these fans maybe would be a little bit more interested to have something that they can interact with a bit differently. Now, I don't think that would be enough to bring in the new users, but more than just a simple AR statue, I think if you had that moving with it, it could be a little bit more attractive to some. But I still hold to my first point, which is if they were able to exclusively offer things to their fans, that would be the ultimate utility, I think, for this group of people who are just completely out of the space. They don't know what's going on in the NFT space. They're not tracking it.
I would hate to see people come in and not get what they want and then leave. That would be like the worst for me. So, I mean, I hope that they got their numbers right. I hope they figured it out, because that would be really disappointing to have spent all that money on marketing, all this money on advertising, 2.5 million impressions on Twitter. Who knows how many more on all other socials? Like, they're going hard. The market team is going hard, but is it for the right reasons? Is it the right places?
Yeah. So we'd love to hear your thoughts. You guys can let us know in the comments below. Do you guys think that this is going to be a drop that will bring in users? What if Veve did things slightly differently? Do you think that would have been effective, like some of the things that we mentioned, and bring in users? Or do you just think this is going to work? Like, do you guys think that Blackpink is in the bag? Don't worry about Social Blade. Don't worry about the impressions versus the comments. It's all going to work out, and this will bring in an influx of new users. Let us know in the comments below your thoughts. If you haven't already, don't forget, become a superstar, smash subscribe, and join the super fam. Hit the bell notification to get every single video every single day. Also, to our VIPs, $2.99 a month. Star beside your name, master spreadsheets. Guys, thank you so much. Take care. We'll see you next one. Bye-bye.
Love you.